already know what it is. It's another episode. Happy Monday. See who I got sitting next to me today? Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a great conversation. To become someone new, to be the true you, never be afraid to do you. In front of the critics, sidelines, non-believers, people holding their grudges, appreciate the hate. It comes with the winning. When you're making the money, you're unstoppable from the beginning. Y'all ready? Your excuses are useless. Ink Boss is in the house. Got some things to talk about. Recognize greatness, supreme revelation. Years of blood, sweat, and tears to become an overnight sensation. Can't do it alone. I should have said this first. Team always makes the dream work. Teamwork always makes the dream work. Ladies and gentlemen, it is another episode of You Don't Have to Be Perfect. And I am so honored to say we house Tommy. Welcome to a Monday of You Don't Have to Be Perfect. Thank you. And I really got to say thank you for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule to sit down with us. Because I don't think anyone knows how really busy you are. You know, some people know you from Oath, Operation Address the Homeless.
Right.
Some people know you as Ink Boss because if you see the tats, you know you've been tattooing in this area for a very long time, right? And some people know you from now Infusions for the last 2 years. But no one knows that you do them all. Right? Most people know you for one or two, but I don't think most people know you do all three of those things and you carry them so masterfully. So let me first give you an applause.
Yeah, they don't realize because I make it look easy. And you know the one thing that they don't know is that I actually do the work. So not only do I own the tattoo shop, but I'm the one that specializes in the more difficult detail work. I do the piercings, at Infusions. I run that entire place. I do the work. I bartend. I'm communicating with the customers in the community people that come from out of state. I bartend there. I serve. I do it all. I sweep. I mop. You know, what most people want to hire people for, I want you to know that I do everything I'm telling you to do too.
I love that you say that because that is very important because leadership in your case starts by example, not just by what you say. I think that that's important for work that you do now, but to have some really dedicated people around you right now. Do you think it's because they've seen you in the trenches, they know how hard you're gonna work? Sometimes you've done it by yourself 4 hours in a day. Go from tattoo shop straight to Infusions and then do what you're gonna do with Operation Address the Homeless.
Right. No, absolutely. I think it's a lot easier for anyone to accept being told as a grown man, as a grown person, being told that you got to do this and do that. You know, it's easier to accept when you can see the person telling you already 33 times before he told you, do me a favor, take care of this for me. You know what I'm saying? If I can do it and be successful, I I don't need to pay nobody to do the work for me.
Mm-hmm.
It just helps because it allows the whole operation to go smoother. To have a team that you can count on, and being able to do what I do, showing them and doing it with them allows them to be able to follow me and respect it at the same time.
I love that. I love that you say that. And you're in the trenches right now, with Operation Address the Homeless. Allentown is dealing with a very uh, real housing crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the the unsheltered are being displaced, and you guys haven't just been on the front lines now, been on the front lines throwing a solution out for years. Do you think because of now it's more real that our unsheltered may be displaced, that they're listening a little more?
How raw do you want my answer?
This is your platform, so you can speak as much as how you want it.
Okay. So we're talking about a city that has been getting millions of dollars to deal with the unsheltered population, the unsheltered problem, the homeless problem for years. Tell me anything that has been done to create a solution with that money, right? So, my answer would be it took for a Jew with money that owns a lot of properties out here to threaten the city with a lawsuit, to all of a sudden come up with the fact that it's in a floodplain. They didn't care about that years ago. They let them be. And if they did something with that money years ago, they wouldn't have this problem today. So the only thing that has changed is a lot of people have been exposed for not doing the right thing. So they kind of have been eliminated. And the only people that are left are people like myself who has been consistent with everything I've done. When the Hope Village, which is the tiny homes project, was introduced, it was introduced with a full package that was dollar for dollar on point. Their answer was, you're not a big enough organization to handle such a budget. So we're going to say no. Meanwhile, I have been a business owner out here for how long? Since 2006. I have opened up business after business that not one of them has flopped. I'm just another Puerto Rican out here to them that is abrasive, that can be aggressive. So because of that, I'm always dismissed. So it took some time for me to get that through my head and be able to have a different approach in order to be heard. So now you got some other aggressive and abrasive individuals who are trying to propose ideas and they're dismissing it the same way they dismiss me. So now Tommy wasn't too bad though. You see, because Tommy ain't going to the mayor's house. Because Tommy ain't going to different places threatening nobody, because that's something I've never done. So my proposal is now actually looked at and accepted as a possible solution. All it took was that little shift of demeanor to be able to be heard by the right people. For the right people to be able to come out and say, listen, this is what needs to be done. Get it done. Let's sit down again. And it's okay. Change is good. There's nothing more consistent in life than change, right? So one of the things that nobody else has out here is experience. Experience is the best teacher. And I siblings and my mother. Homeless as an adult. Taking my experiences and my current self, I'm able to provide a way to be able to assist these people, to be able to give them that platform with all the resources in a way that they can feel safe and secure, because they don't have to sleep with one eye open. They don't have to worry about where they're going to eat tomorrow or how they're going to shower. You see, I've done everything that I've been told not to do by the same people that haven't created a solution now, dollars that they've been having. I've given people a safe place. I don't post it. I don't talk about it because I don't want someone to tell me, Tommy, you can't do that. You see, I don't think there should be any restrictions when you're trying to help a human, a life, a person. There should be restrictions. All this red tape that they got put up, to me, it's just nonsense, right? So now you got all this whole entire city going crazy about an encampment that consists of 20-some people. What about the rest of them? What about the ones that don't have the jacket that these guys have? Sex offenders. They're either playing with little kids or they're playing with women the wrong way, right? And you got people that are fighting for just that encampment to make sure they eat all day, to make sure they got a place to stay. But what about the other ones? What about the women that are sleeping in laundromat bathrooms with kids on the floor? What about the families that are sleeping in cars night after night and they have to come to Oath to take a shower and get some food? What about those people? What about the people that haven't committed any crimes? They were just dealt a bad hand, and now their whole entire family is sleeping in a vehicle that they can't even turn the vehicle on all night because they gotta stretch that dollar for gas, right? What about them? What about them? So to me, this is just another movie. It's nonsense. Okay? The warmest station is a joke. You go there at 7 o'clock at night, you gotta leave at 7 o'clock in the morning, and whatever you have, you gotta haul with you everywhere you're going. That's not a solution. I'm gonna say this. If they actually did the research on the Pallet Homes was created. It is a tiny house that we got options on. One person, two person, four person, six people, one person with a bathroom, two person with a bathroom, four person with a bathroom. Or we have just the houses with a communal bathroom, cafeteria, kitchen, all of it. They make it all. And if the city would just pick out a piece of land that was not sitting on a floodplain, this could have been resolved a long time ago. The thing is this: how many people don't go through fires out here?
Many.
How many people have been on, without shelter because their house went on fire?
Many.
What has been the solution? If they don't have homeowners insurance, if they don't have renters insurance, what are the options? The Red Cross. They sit down with you for about a couple minutes because they have to. They give you a little voucher for like $200 and a little to-go bag of a couple of things. Then they might place you in a hotel for 2 weeks. And then what? You're on your own,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
So all we have is a system that provides band-aids, no solutions, right? You got a gentleman. I'm gonna call him a gentleman because I'm gonna be a gentleman myself. That is known to have mental issues. On drugs, on live video, you can see it. It's out there trying to make a name for himself with these unsheltered individuals. But he's asking the community for help. It's not anything that he can do. So what I'm looking at is just such a waste of time between the band-aids and the people that they allow to be involved. The same people that they like to talk about and arrest for 30 minutes and let back out. They allow these individuals to get 5 different charges and get out on bail. Doesn't make sense to me, but it makes sense to them. And we wouldn't have that if the city would just put the money where it belongs. Create the solution. What they need to do is do what Oath has done. So Operation Address the Homeless has taken the time to go and visit these campsites. I went to Cali. I went to Skid Row. The conditions in Skid Row is unbelievable. Okay? You can't go in there, pull out a phone. It ain't gonna go well for you. But they have an entire section of that city that's just streets with homeless individuals. And I did that for a reason. It wasn't to find a solution. I needed understanding a little bit more. And I needed to see things from a different perspective. And then we went to these different places across the country that have the pallet home community. The success rates are unbelievable. When you can change the way a person sleeps, how safe they feel, it changes the entire day. When you know you don't have to be separated from your children and your husband or a man from his wife, and the family can stay together. You know how much a hug means to a father from a child or his wife, telling them we got this. That's motivation by itself. But they got such a messed up system out here in the Lehigh Valley, man. It's just a wait list from here to next year. Separating the kids from the mother and the father, it's a mess. If they don't understand, and I know that they don't, because they haven't been through it, it's easier for them to say, let's take advice and let's take suggestions from the guy with the suit and tie than it is from the guy full of tattoos that sells marijuana legally. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And you said a lot of things that I don't wanna blow by. First, you said a change in how you approach things opened up new ways for you to get into new different doors, and I think that's important because there are people that will keep knocking on the same doors the same ways and get mad at others. You realize that there was something within you that had to change in order for you to open up more doors because it's bigger than you. Uh, I love that you pointed out, solutions, right? Where most people go wrong is we don't focus on solutions. I can tell you how many times you went wrong, but I can't give you one way to go right. You know, what I love about what you've been doing is you went and did the real life research. You said I went to different spaces and places. You have real life experience because you've lived it. So, I've always wondered why you were so passionate about it. Now I know you've experienced it. So it's something you don't want anyone else to experience, you know, and to do that kind of research, to go from city to city, to see what wasn't going right, to see what was going right, and to want to bring that to your city. That is commendable. So I wanted to make sure we've pointed those things out because it's too easy to just see the end result, right? Without research, without going to see, without gaining an understanding, none of these solutions really make sense. It's like you said, the guy sitting with the tie trying to look down. You know, my mother always told me you should only look down when you're pulling someone up. So I love that you said that you're only looking down to pull up. So, what do you think the average person, we're not going to talk about the big person, well, what can the average person, uh, Joe, mom or dad, sister, brother watching this podcast that's going to watch the video and going to say, I want to get involved? How can they start to be part of the solution? Because we're not going to wait for the city to give you any answers, because that we've been waiting for years. We're not going to wait for the politicians to give you the answers, but there may be some average citizen that wants to get into the fight.
So here goes my raw truth again. Dealing with the unsheltered community as a nonprofit, you need an army. If you really want to target the reasons why each individual is unsheltered, you're going to need an army. Everyone has different reasons, whether it be mental, whether it be drugs and alcohol, whether it be a divorce, separation, that could cause somebody to say, if I don't have that person, I don't have nothing. Or maybe the wife took everything and left them homeless, because I'm dealing with somebody like that right now. Man was making $55 an hour. They took all his savings. And it got to the point where he became homeless. So now I got him up in a place where he is safe. He's able to shower. He's able to eat. Anytime he's hungry, he's able to, he actually had a job interview, started a job yesterday, making $18 an hour. It's a big cut. But his job fired him because of the situation his wife was putting him through and calling the job and creating problems. So they was like, dude, we're not dealing with this no more. So it's just simple things like that can cause you to lose it all, right? Even the job, because she done messed up so bad. She kept harassing. Like, we don't want to deal with this no more. You got to go. So something as simple as that caused that man to lose it all. You know what? I'm okay with $17, $18 an hour. I'm going to be all right, because he's hope. He's got support, right? And he knows that he can work his way back up. But, excuse me. And I'm going to tell you why. Right now, we have a facility. Used to be my tattoo shop. Now it's fully functional to address the homeless situation. We run showers. We do haircuts. We do laundry services for these people. We provide job training, job placement. So we have people from the community that said, Tommy, I want to be involved. Cut hair. Awesome. Now we got X amount of barbers that can cut hair. So now we can provide haircuts every day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right? Now we have people in the community that can take anybody, regardless of their background, and say, we're going to put you, these are the options. First shift, second shift, third shift. I need you to come in, do training for X amount of time. You're going to get paid for it, and you're good to go. Right? So we have different agencies that are working with us to do this. We need people to go out to the encampments and do wellness checks. Make sure everybody's okay. Make sure that they got a truck stocked up with all the things that they would need in order to make it through the night, through the week, what it takes. We need people for everything to be able to address homelessness. And the only way that we won't need all of that is if we have a community that's dedicated to taking in the unsheltered and having different sections for different groups. We can have a family group over here, that whole section, everything fenced out so that it doesn't bother anybody else in the community. We can have a recreation room. We can have the single man over here. We can have the single woman over there. We can have a woman's bathroom with 10 showers on that side of the field. We can have a men's bathroom with 10 showers on that side of the field. It can work the same way that I've seen it work. So what we would need then is people that can work in that community. That would also create job opportunities for people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having all these encampments and complaining about the, the amount of clothing that they throw, the mattresses that you see piled up when you go to the woods, these encampments because their tent broke and now they got snow on the moon, so they can't use that no more. Let's go get another mattress. We can avoid all of this if you put them in a pallet home where they can lock the door. They got full windows. We give them a structured program that they have to follow. And when they are able to get to that stage of the game where they're able to move out, we have a team for that as well. And it takes nothing but 10 minutes to wipe down these walls and sterilize it and turn it around and be able to open it up for somebody else that needs that space. So in the meantime, we would love for people to actually do their homework the same way I've done mine. Stop listening to people and forget the aggressive guy and the abrasiveness that Tommy has shown people over the years. And I've done that because of the passion and because anytime somebody wants to disrupt what I've been creating, I take it personal. And the thing that most people don't understand is I never wanted to be a 501c3. I do this from the heart because for as long as I've been doing this, the money to create this came out of my pocket, not the city's. No funding from any grants. It was my money. My tattoo shop put that money into this project. The people that believed in the vision helped me. The community that wanted to be involved made it happen. And that's how it was done. Now imagine if I had the money that I need to create a village for the unsheltered with my business mindset and the love that I have for what I do, because I've been consistent since day one. As a matter of fact, we've grown.
And I don't wanna miss that, right? So first, the tattoo shop, you said, pays for the majority of the stuff that you're doing. Where is your tattoo shop? So someone who may need a great tattoo can come to, because if anything, right, how we pay the bills is how we still get to keep pushing. So where is your tattoo shop for anyone who may not know?
My tattoo shop currently is on 7th Street, has been there for years. We are currently in the process of moving to the Capri building
Oh,
on Hamilton.
okay.
I'm downsizing. I'm getting rid of a lot of the garbage,
Okay.
people included. And it's a secure building with private parking where my customers could feel safer. It's not the best place for a lot of people that are not from here. Is there anywhere I could park? I don't want to park on 7th Street, So that alleviates that. I'm able to actually be on a more,
Do you have a date for the Capri building so people can know when to find you? Or
amongst all the things that I do, I don't get home till about 5 in the morning most of the time. I'm still moving a lot of things from that building itself into another location so that I can get it ready and then move my stations in there. So I'm thinking this month, maybe towards the end of the month, but I'm gonna definitely announce it. But you can check out, the work at. I'm gonna have to check my website because, like I said, I got rid of some garbage.
we're gonna update everything.
We're gonna update everything because but anybody knows All Inclusive Tattoo on Facebook, Ink Boss Rodriguez on Facebook, as well as Instagram. We've been here since 2011. All Inclusive Tattoos.
So I wanted to make sure that people knew how to support the brand, right? We're talking about the solutions, and those are important, right? Solutions are important, but solutions without bread are dead, right? And we know that the brand, and I'm grateful that you said what you said, because I know for a long time um, you were never getting any grants. I'm grateful that you finally got a couple, not many, but so to watch, try to build two businesses well, a business and a nonprofit off of one main business is amazing, because you were also building a restaurant, you know, while donating. I don't know how much money you put into this community, but thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars into this community for this fight, while building infusions. So I want to also let them know you have a restaurant that they can come out, and buy food, right? Where we're located at, because it's a unique restaurant. It's one of a kind, right? In this area. So tell us a little bit about infusions, because if you're not going to give to the cause, because we're not going to pretend like everybody's going to donate, right? You can still support a business that will allow him to give to the cause. So you can get a nice tattoo from him or one of whomever is at his shop now. The more technical ones will be done by him anyway. You can get your ear pierced, you get your body pierced. You can come and you can go get my favorite drink over at Infusions. For those of us who don't really drink alcohols, Infusion is where we need to go. So you can go over there and get my favorite drink. So tell us a little bit about Infusions.
Infusions Cafe and Lounge. Cannabis infused theory. So it is the only place in Pennsylvania that serves infused food with cannabis. It's the only place in Pennsylvania that gives you a full infused menu. That's your drinks, your food, your desserts, anything you want. You can legally smoke in there. We have a great exhaust system that, smoke doesn't bother nobody because you barely see it. It provides a great vibe, man. It's definitely different because you don't have the alcohol, the alcohol muscles walking around all angry because somebody stepped on my sneaker. You stepped on my sneaker at Infusions, I'm probably gonna offer you, here, take that. you want to try my wings? We ain't angry.
Yeah.
We've had 0 incidents in the whole time that we've been open, and we're going on 2 years. Police don't bother us. They know that we're not about the nonsense. It is a 21 and over establishment. You're able to bring your own cannabis as long as you have a medical card and you bring it in your own medical container. We'll give you a rolling tray, an ashtray, and whatever you may need, to make it happen. But it's a place to come and medicate. There's a lot of people out here that are now, especially the elders. They come in groups of 6, 8. You see a bunch of walkers coming through. I gotta have a little parking for the walkers at the restaurant, because it'd be a lot of them, and they can sit for 6 hours, 4 hours, and then they love it. They leave out of there pain free, feeling good, and then they come every week. So it's definitely a place for meditation, elevation. Feel good, have great conversation. Go there with your partner, your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever you want to go with. You can have a chill vibe, and we've learned a lot because this is new. Here's the thing. A lot of people say, Tommy, you didn't create Infusions. No, I didn't. I did not. I was asked to come to business with a man that believed in me as a businessman. That man is no longer here with us at Infusions for his own reasons. And I'm still there. So I have been learning the business. I check my Google page and I look at the reviews, and I might see that the music was extremely loud during dinner time. Other than that, the service was great, the food was good, right? So I learned something. I want to put the music down to a mellow, chill volume so that people can have conversations during dinner. 10 o'clock, we changed the environment, we changed the ambiance, we put some extra lights and lasers, and we got the DJ going, or we may have performances happening, and talent shows, and we allow the community to come and be part of it. Oh man, come and show us what you got. We don't charge you to do anything as far as your performance. We just want real talent. We want people that can definitely, put on a good show and just have a good time, man. We're open till 4 in the morning on the weekends, 2 in the morning on Thursdays. We're located on 3 East 3rd Street. You can find us on social media, Infusions Cafe and Lounge. We got the website going, just got started. It's still under construction. But it is infusionscafeandlounge.com.
And then you got a brunch menu. For those of y'all who don't know, football is not the same unless you go and get that football and fire, over at Infusions. So they have the brunch menu. I got stuck by the waitress yesterday. I thought I knew everything. She hit me with a whole nother menu with the chicken and waffles, and I was like, oh. It's like, oh, that's how we play it. So Infusions, for those who don't know, is a restaurant first,
It's a
right?
restaurant.
That has great food, you know, and also additional events, you know. Because I think people miss how great the food and drinks are. I know I spent a lot of time eating wings and drinking my watermelon, you know. So I love it there.
I understand where it comes from. See, when we first opened up, it was very difficult to get people in there. Reason being, a lot of people didn't understand how the place is legal. How is it that they're selling pre rolls when pre rolls are illegal in PA? How is it that people are able to smoke in there if it's not recreational? How are they selling this stuff if it's not recreational? So what I'm going to say is this: we're going on 2 years. We have every single license. The health department gave us our second license without a problem. They actually love us. Some of them actually go there. Uh, so if you Fusions is about, stop being some of these hating ass comments, because that's what they are, man. You could tell when someone was sent to sabotage something good. When the beginning of your paragraph starts with the bullshit and ends with the bullshit, you could tell it's bullshit. When someone can say, you know what, the music was too loud, was amazing, and the vibe was very chill, then you know they're giving you a real review. So I'm gonna tell people, go and experience. Check it out yourself. And any questions that you may have, feel free to ask from me. If you see me, feel free to stop me, wave me down. I'll gladly come, sit down with you, smoke something with you, and we can have a great conversation. I'll answer any questions you may
I love that. I love that. You know, so for those who don't know, you know, 3 East Third Street, you know, there's a place where, you know, you can get medicated, you can start meditating, you can get elevated, you know, and it's a great atmosphere. You know, definitely check out there's Sunday brunches, you know. Okay, you can see the whole 1 o'clock game, right? Because they're only open from 11 to 5 on Sundays, but that's the whole 1 o'clock game. You can go over there and watch. So I wanted to make sure that we didn't pass up all those things. I tell you, the time goes very, very quickly during this interview. So I want to make sure that for those who may want to donate to Operation Address the Homeless, how they can, where they can.
www.operationaddressthehomeless.org. www.operationaddressthehomeless.org. There's a donate button there. That is how we prefer it. This way you know where the money's going. Our books have always been open. They remain. So anybody that wants to know where the money's going to, understand this. Not one person at Operation Address the Homeless gets paid. This is one of the organizations that has been growing and has been very consistent with strictly volunteer work. 100% of the money that we've gotten from grants goes to the program. We pay water, we pay rent, we pay light bills, phone bills. We have a warehouse that we're getting ready right now because we actually got big donors that gives us food, and that's how we keep program running. So what we want is a place to actually kind of create with aisles like a little supermarket. But not only do we want to make sure that our program is, you know, given everything that it needs to be able to feed these individuals, but we also are in the process of getting with the school districts. I believe that that's where we need to actually start if we're going to create something big. A lot of families that send their kids to school are homeless. Thousands.
One out of every 5 students, they say, in the Allentown School District is recorded homeless.
It's a lot. It's a lot of numbers. Okay. A lot of kids go to school to eat. If they don't go to school, some of them don't eat that day, that weekend. So what we want is to be able to work with the school district and create a system that can work for both of us, protecting the children at the same time, protecting the families. We don't need to put them on social media. We don't need to do that. We've done that. We did the work already. We've been in the trenches. We've been in the woods at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We've done that. And everybody that could look back at my stories can see how long I've been doing this. I would go on my motorcycle and I would have my saddlebags full of stuff to be able to give this these people. We did that.
There are not too many people, right? And I'm big on knowing who my experts are, right, in every field, right? Because I know what I know, right? Whenever I need an answer around the unsheltered or a solution for the unsheltered, I've been calling you for years. I'm going to put it on the record. So if you think I came up with the ideas, no. I've been calling him for years because I know what I know, and I'm not going to pretend to be an expert in a space that I can't, right? So there's been many times we've put people in places and spaces. There's been many times that we've fed people because I also run a food bank that I don't advertise. So there's been many times we've been able to work together. And then there's been many times I just had to say, hey, Tommy, where is your team? Can they take this? And to know that every one of them have been full-time volunteers with the amount of pressure that I have put on some of them, I applaud you. I applaud them. And I thank Oath. Because I don't know about anyone else, but I can tell you, we know that I can be a jerk. Especially when helping someone because we're passionate, right? We want a solution. We want, because when people come to me, I'm usually a last resort, in this situation. So when I call you, I'm frazzled, right? Because I don't have the answer. So to know that you guys always have the answer, to know that you guys are always willing to jump in the trenches, and to know that you guys have all did it for free, that's commendable, applaudable, and please, again, where they donate, right? Because somebody else may be getting it for salary, but you guys are actually getting it to, there's real bills. You said there's water bills. Because I know people take showers. I've taken people there to take showers.
We've served up to 180 something people a day in one day alone. That's a lot when you got thousands of people, but you're looking at
your organization.
We're one place, and then you got people saying, whatever they're saying. You got to understand with people that most of them have some sort of issue that they're dealing with. Very easy to manipulate them and lead them in a different path if you really had those intentions. Right now, you got an encampment that is really dependent on the people in the community to feed them. Because one person is telling them, don't go to Oath. Now, Daybreak has been closed for a while. So they have nowhere to go because that's where they normally went. It was the closest to them.
Yes.
But don't go to Oath. So I'm going to say this. As a person that was homeless in the past, okay, sometimes you got to learn to think for yourself. Stop following people that have nothing to show anyone and be able to say, let me help you get here where I'm at. Because the person that's telling you don't go there is damn near in the same boat as you. You see what I'm saying? So, regardless of the fact that, yes, Operation Address the Homeless has rules. You can't come to the building intoxicated. We're going to tell you you have to go. It's a liability to go up sets of stairs, to go up another flight of stairs, to take a shower, to come down those stairs. If you fall in the shower because you got high before you came to oath, that's not something we're going to deal with. And I'm sorry, but I'm not one to condone any of that. You can't tell me that you're in a bad position, but you're showing me why. See? Because if I didn't change certain things about myself, I wouldn't have been able to become the person I am today. So we need to stop condoning this nonsense where you got a whole encampment that does what they do, and what they do on their own time. I'm going to say it, sometimes, in order to deal with the reality of where you're at, you need that. Or they think they do.
Mm-hmm.
But don't bring it to Operation Address the Homeless. If what you need is a shower, get your body clean. If what you need is clean clothing, if what you need is jacket, boots, socks, winter's coming, we have it all. But we want you to come there clean. We don't want you to come intoxicated. We want you to be able to understand when we're talking to you. So because of those certain situations where people have been told, you gotta go, I cannot allow you in the building. Now they're gonna go and say what they're gonna say, and then other people are gonna be like, oh well, whatever. Here you go. We ain't going there. Let's go over here. They're gonna ask us those questions. That's fine. But at the end of the day, you gotta put that aside at some point because it's you that needs some food in your system, some nourishment, right? It is you that need to clean yourself up. It's you that needs the help that's not being provided for you. And if they were able to put all that aside and say, let me care business, and when I get back, I do what I do, things would be a lot different. That whole encampment would have food. Anybody in the community having to buy pizza every day, or having to buy meals for 50 people, and you get what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we're going through hard times. The economy is getting to a point where it's not easy for people. And then you got sometimes intoxicated telling you to be a good person, a humanitarian, and feed these 50 people that have been using the same drug for 13 years or have been doing things that they shouldn't be doing when it comes to women and children. You see what I'm saying? So those are the things that I'm never going to condone. You either going to do right by yourself so that we can do right by you, or you can stay at Camp 2 or 3. I'm going to help those that want to help themselves. We're not condone your drug use, your alcohol use. We're not here to condone none of that while we struggle to keep Operation Address the Homeless open. And we're definitely not going to bring it to you because that's the reason why we pay the bills there. So that you have a place that you could come to, take advantage of the resources, take advantage of the services that are being provided for you to at least be clean and have a full belly and take a to-go bag so that you can eat tonight. And that's what separates us from them. We're not here to color you. We're not going to shoulder and tell you it's okay. It's okay. Keep doing it. That, let me help you. Can I have a program? Are you willing to go into this program and get cleaned up? Because this is where you can be. Is that where you want to be? And if you really look carefully, a lot of these people that are out here in these encampments are not people that just became homeless a month ago. They've been homeless for years plus. I've had one willing to take a solution that we provided, apartments after apartments. I just got this dog last week and I don't give it up. So you want to stay here because you just got a dog last week? That's my my dog. I'm not going nowhere. I don't know what to say to that. But it's really not the dog. The dog is the excuse so that they can't tell you the real. And the real is that once you put them in a place that's going to provide change, they can no longer do what they do, which is what they're accustomed to, which is what their body is used to. Right? Feeling that way. They're no longer going to be able to feel like that. They're going to have to go sweats, some withdrawal. It's harder than sleeping in the woods in the tent. So they rather deal with their reality year after year instead of creating a solution by saying, you know what, I'm going to do this and I'm going to sacrifice and I'm going to go through the motions and I'm going to go through these cold sweats and this uncomfortable feeling, but I'm going to make it. So you don't want change. The only thing we could do is keep you alive for as long as you don't overdo what you're doing. And that's all that's left.
That's deep. That's deep. Man. And I want y'all, as y'all hear this, not to get to a point where you give up, but get inspired to a point where you find yourself also being a part of the solution. That you find yourself, maybe you may not be someone who creates an operation Address the Homeless, but you can donate time to Operation Address the Homeless. You can donate clothes, money, your ear sometimes. So find out how you can get involved. Definitely today. I want to make sure that, because the show is coming close to an end, that you give everyone all of your social media handles, because there's a few of them, so that they can either get a tattoo, grab a meal, or make a donation.
My tattoo shop, Ink Boss Rodriguez, on Facebook and Instagram. We also have a website, allinclusivetattoo.com. But like I said, there's going to be some changes that are going to be made to that website. It's under construction. As far as Operation Address the Homeless, www.operationaddressthehomeless.org will be the website. We have Operation Address the Homeless on Facebook as well. As far as Infusions Cafe and Lounge, we lounge on Facebook, Instagram, and our website, fusionscafeandlounge.com.
Yes. And this hour went by very quickly. So I'm going to ask you to do what we've asked all our guests to do, and that's say my personal manifesto with me, because it's very long. So it's like this. I love me. I'm worthy. Some people may not like me, but I don't care. But the people that matter will be glad that I'm here. Or do call them a response. Don't worry. I love me.
I love me.
I'm worthy.
I'm worthy.
Some people may not like me.
Some people may not like me,
but I don't care.
But I don't care.
Because the people that matter
will
be glad that I'm here.
Will be glad that I'm here.
And I'm glad that you spent an hour with us, Tommy. I'm glad that you told us all of the solution that Oath has been bringing in our community. I am glad that we learned more about infusion. I am glad that we got to talk a little bit about your tattoo shop. I am glad that you spent years doing the research so that our community has real solutions for the unsheltered. I'm grateful to know that you don't take in intoxicated unsheltered because many people didn't know that. And I'm grateful that you spent the time really giving us a piece of you. So I'm going to give you the last word, my brother.
Well, I thank you for having me and giving me the opportunity to about what we really are and everything that um, get to know. That's why I tell everybody: forget the outside, forget what I tell you. I've learned that if you want to know about something, go find out yourself. You got a lot of people that don't want you to be part of something that they can't be part of themselves. And that's hard for a lot of people to swallow.
That's real. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to get started. We had Ink Boss Rodriguez. Next week, we got Tremaine Tatum. We got some great things to talk about there, but make sure you go out and you get involved in your community. If it's not Operation Address the Homeless, find a place where you can be part of the solution.